this is part of a different approach to it. Every week we want to bring a high level jiu-jitsu master here to accomplish something, right? Renato has so many accomplishments, you know. Come on, can you just read it a little bit of his accomplishments?
Oh yeah, where's my phone?
Master Renato.
That's a lot.
Yeah. And we're doing this also. There's another. If there's anybody here, just need to know that right now. Raise your hand if you don't want to be on this video. This video, it is a study for classes, and what we try to do is bring people in. Like I said, the approach will be taken from this sport, and you're just in the beginning of learning everything. It's not just about the supplements. It's really about how he incorporates this in his daily basis, you know, life in general situation. And I'm going to let Renato talk about his career, and I'm going to ask you guys to ask questions. But before anything else, if there's anybody here that doesn't want to be part of this, it's okay. You know, it's okay. We understand that. This is part of what we're doing is in the research, and we are developing with the kinesiology and other departments too. So there's more people for the guys from the psychology. Who was here? I know there's a couple guys here who are doing the psychology.
You study psychology?
Huh? I'm major.
Major, yeah, there you go. So we got to talk about this later because we have a project with the College of Psychology to try to do some major research on that, right? So Armand is going to introduce. So she's going to be filming, I think.
Yeah,
For sure.
You want to do it.
I think it's. Come on, tell us like I did it to me. Okay.
So, just to introduce Master Renato, he has been training Jiu-Jitsu since 1974, longer than most of us have been born. He's a black belt under Carlson Gracie, who Master Liborio is also a black belt under Carlson Gracie. They had the same master. He is part of the first, does anyone know who American Top Team is, or the Gym American Top Team? Part of the first American Top Team coaches and fighters, and he is a world champion. He was a European champion 2018-2019, Pan Am champion 2001, 2009, 2011, 2014, 2016, 2017, 2018. It's a lot of championships. And he's a world champion in 2012, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019. That's a lot. I can't remember all that. That's why I have to read it because he has a lot of accomplishments. So he is very well seasoned and very well respected. Thank you, Messi.
Give it up a big hand. I saw some of the quizzes and so many diverse, you know, majors and interests, and I really truly believe that this sport's saved me in so many different ways. Not just what I do for a living. For some of us, me and him at least included here, this is what we do. But in so many different ways, I think this sport is differentiated than other ones. I'm going to let Renato talk a little bit about his career, but I want you guys to start thinking about questions. Try to think of things that it will really incorporate in your, whatever, is your major, if it's not your major, your personal life or something like this, something that you want to do. Because I know some of you guys here want to compete. This is really one of the most seasoned competitors that ever existed. You know, the highest level of their competition. And besides that, he's a successful business owner with more than 5 schools. And there's so much that you should be asking, right? So let's start with myself. Basic position, why? Basic question, why you compete? What drives you to competition?
Compete like this is something that for me is make me keep training, keep growing, keep learning. And one thing Jiu-Jitsu with you is always about growing, you know, be better. And it's not be better just to get a medal. It's be better as a person, be better on the mat, learning more the technique, be able to explain and teach better too. And that's why I think I still competing, because I want to make my Jiu-Jitsu better, that I can teach better, that I can help my students better, that I can come here and maybe talk to you guys. But like he said at the beginning, Jiu-Jitsu is much more than a martial art, like it's a fighting thing, is a lifestyle. When you start learning Jiu-Jitsu, it's something that's gonna motivate you to set up goals. when I'm gonna have my next tournament, or what I'm gonna be able to teach my students, and he can get it that fast, and he can learn it fast. It's all about jiu-jitsu is health, mental, balance, everything together. Like people say, jiu-jitsu change lives, jiu-jitsu save lives, and that's true. I know a lot of people that start doing jiu-jitsu, they have mental health problems, and they change, they get better. Jiu-jitsu helped so many people that maybe didn't have confidence, maybe was overweight, and then have a lot of, like, the stuff that Liborio trying to do here right now is make sure people understand how much jiu-jitsu, not the fighting part, but the atmosphere that you have can help you. Can be in your career, can be as a father, can be in your family, can be in your job. Jiu-jitsu is for me, is teaching me more every day, and I try every day to be better. Inside the net, but more important, outside the net.
Any questions? Guys, raise your hand. Come on. Let me just talk just a little bit about this. Look, one of the biggest fears that people have is actually is a fear of public speaking, or worse than that, for competition from us. The worst fear that we have in competition, it's not the tapping or get hurt. No, man. If you're afraid to get hurt, you'll never train. But you're afraid to be embarrassed in front of people. That's where the competition comes in. And I'm just going to tell you about this because it has everything to do about raising your hand or not. A lot of you guys wanted to ask questions, but you don't raise your hand because you're afraid to be embarrassed. But guess what? For you to be a leader in anything you do, you're going to have to take chances, man. You're going to have to stand up. You're going to have to say something. You're going to have to expose yourself. Otherwise, you're not going to be a leader. I'm telling you this right now. So you learn from that. In competition, we learn a lot because you win and you lose a lot. Or not to lose a lot like I did. And to a point that you start figuring out that your nerves is not going to affect you as the same because you are okay if you lose. What you're not okay is to quit. And that's huge. It's huge. It's not you learn how to lose. No, it's you learn how not to quit. And you know that you can't come back in the next day because you're not going to be too embarrassed. That's huge. That's huge in your life. That's huge for anything you do. If you want to be a leader, you want to be a boss, you want to have a relationship, you want to have a family, guess what? You're going to have to suck it up in one day because you're going to get embarrassed one day. And you have to come back the next day and you have to raise your hand like we're doing right now and say, hey, I have a question. Things like that. Just think this way. Anything you can say to right now, guess what? Somebody's going to remember in a couple of years ahead. You got to stand up. You got to raise your hand sometimes. Don't be afraid. If you want to be a champion, you have to compete. To compete, you got to get used to the possibility to lose. In my bracket in the World Championships, there was 36 guys. There's 35 losers. Not the way it works. It's just for you to step and say, man, I competed at the World Championships. I competed at the World Championships, and there was 36 people, 35 didn't win. You know, there's something in there. That's the point that I'm talking to you. Sometimes the key is knowing that you're going to survive. Knowing that if you raise your hand, if you say something that sounds stupid, you'll be okay. That's the point that we're going to try to make here about Jiu-Jitsu, that what it teaches you a lot. Jiu-Jitsu gives you some sort of inner strength that if you don't like me, all right. If you think I'm stupid, it's okay. You know, I'll survive. I'll figure it out, wait. Because that's what the winners do. That's the point here. Any questions? Here there was up. Oh, there you go, boy. There you go.
Do you suffer from any chronic injuries? I know a lot of people who do competitive jiu-jitsu and just competitive fighting overall. They oftentimes suffer from spinal injuries, like fused spines, or they have
I have some injury. I have a knee, I have a shoulder. But one thing, like when you're learning in jiu-jitsu, is kind of put stuff together too. And then I do, outside my jiu-jitsu training, I do conditioning. On the conditioning part, I'm gonna help you keep my joints, my bones, that thing tighter. And then I have been training for 45 years. I have been competing since 1976. And we don't have, I have some issues. I have a knee, a little problem in there. But one thing I always put together is the conditioning part. Keep my muscles tight. They're gonna keep protecting my joints, protect my neck, my back, and then that's in other things in life too. And you have your job. How we can find something kind of related right now to jiu-jitsu? How we can, in your career, how we can get something else from outside that can bring to your career to be successful. You always can learn. Again, it's all about learning. Keep learning. Keep your mind open. A lot of people like see white belts and blue belts. Sometimes they do something and that's natural. And say, whoa, that's good. But a lot of people look, it's a white belt, doesn't know what I do. There's a different view. We need to see everybody has something to give to you. Everybody can help you grow. And then the injuries is going to be there. But you're learning with the technique, the right technique to protect yourself. You don't have, when you talk about today about the takedown, we're learning how not put your hand on the floor. How learning to protect your body when you go down. Keep the chin up, don't hit your head. It's always this learning process. And then it's like when you train to set position that you know you're already there, maybe the person can hurt your arm, hurt your shoulder, you know there. You don't need to be a hero on the mat. We're here to learning, to training, to grow. Okay, now what I did wrong. Oh, did this wrong. Then fix and make it better. It's all about learning about yourself. And jiu-jitsu is the big thing on jiu-jitsu. You learn a lot about yourself. How you like people say, oh, I'm putting my hands up, I'm gonna look stupid. Sometimes I do the same message. Stupid is not answer. Because that question made more people want to know about it, and they don't do it. And then every time you have a question, if you do, it's one more thing that you know for the next day. And then you come back here, answer another question, one more thing you know. And then we have to what? You grow every day, you get something better. And then that's, again, relate jiu-jitsu, you guys are going to learn it from Master Ricardo, is the best you guys have. If you guys doesn't know him, Google him. Google what people talk about him, because you guys have a diamond. It's not even
talk about you. Guys, there's one thing. Majority of you guys don't know what jiu-jitsu is, and you gotta learn. There's one thing. We're gonna give you the rules of engagement. If you don't know anything, you know what? Okay, you learn a takedown today. A takedown is 2 points. A pass in the guard that we're gonna learn is 3 points, and knee on belly is 2 points. A mount position that you learned today is 4 points. A back take is 4 points. A sweep, there's another thing that you're going to learn, is 2 points. Once you learn the rules set, now we start playing the game. And it was going to make a lot of sense what you're saying about building up. How I pass the guard? How I escape to the mount? How I submit somebody here? How I can go for a takedown? How I can counter? We're going to be showing a lot of this, as much as we can in this 16 weeks. But there is the clubs out there. So there's more and more people coming to the clubs. Right after here, we have the clubs, and we're going to start it. And the clubs, you guys are really going to train, which is different. So don't feel like I can't understand jiu-jitsu. We count on that right now. If you give us a chance, you've got to understand a little bit more what we're trying to do.
And he's still involved here and there. He do a little self-defense part. And I think that the master's voice is like something that inspires us to see how they teach people, how they pass the information, and we're always looking for them. Like Mike, this GD Ribero's 19 years old, is still involved. Not more involved. His son passed away a couple years ago, but he's always there to teach and his kids, do a little self-defense seminar, and the masters kind of, and this guy too.
For those who want to advance the belt, what's the biggest advice you have for them?
Don't rush. Enjoy the ride, because jiu-jitsu is one of those martial arts going to take longer than most, going to take longer than all. But enjoy the ride, you know, like inside this mat, there's again, relate to life. You're going to have disappointment, discourage, good days, bad days. That's not different than life. That's the good thing in jiu-jitsu. You're going to take so much lesson inside this mat, it's going to bring to you. It's not learning, answer questions, don't leave this place, we have something to answer. We're here to teach, we love what we do. You know, if we can be here for another 3 hours, we're gonna be here for 3 hours, like, because we love what we do. But jiu-jitsu is something that you're gonna, if you stick with, and not stick with for 3 years. Black belts take 8, 10, 12 years. But on the end, you're gonna work so much. You're gonna learn so much from the lesson we have in this mat here every day.
When did you start jiu-jitsu and what made you want to keep it?
Yeah, I started jiu-jitsu. I have a health problem. I have a problem to breathe, and then the doctor recommended. I started jiu-jitsu because the doctor recommended. But I think I keep training jiu-jitsu because it's something that, again, every day I'm gonna learn something. I bring people to my school to teach. We train with a lot of good guys, but you always have room to improve, always have a room to grow. And then that's motivate me. I want to learn more. They have the guy came, and his master said, man, Renato's the guy I always want to learn. I want to learn. I want to learn. So like I said, I even pay attention white belts and blue belts because I want to improve. I want to learn, maybe teach better, maybe improve my jiu-jitsu when I train, when I compete. Again, it's all about improvement. You know, and you sometimes you set up a goal and you get it there, no, I'll get it here. But always have something that you can make it better. If you're not even in your job, something in relationships with people around you, you know, like you're learning how to treat other people better. You know, like we sometimes, and we see a lot in jiu-jitsu, the people get a big ego, oh, I'm champion, and they have to 10 years.
I gotta say this story. This is one thing jiu-jitsu showed me too. The giant is not always that tall, and the little guy is not always that small. I saw this guy kicking some serious ass so many times in my life. I used to come, we used to have this, American Top used to be in Coconut Creek, where it was close to Miami Gulf. It was close to where, in a certain way, we created some kind of collaboration because we're really good at what we're doing, fighting, and those guys would want to learn how to fight in some way. So we have a lot of Dolphins, big lineup back to 300-pound guys coming to train. There was this guy, actually, he was really good. I don't know if I can tell the name, but he was a Super Bowl champion from the Steelers, 4 times champion from the Steelers, came over to train with us, 300-something pounds. And this guy was a super nice guy. And I remember that was Renato, and there was another kid called Drip. Do you remember Drip? And there was the smallest guy there, and I put this guy to train with, and Renato just absolutely schooled him in jiu-jitsu, which is one thing about jiu-jitsu too. There's one thing, you can ask that big guy there to actually, you know, I can ask her to punch that big guy right in the jaw. It may knock him out and may not. But if she got you in the rear naked choke, buddy, and you don't know how to escape, it's goodbye. That's on. She can close her hand and boom, right in the jaw. It may knock you out, it may not, but you should learn how to get a rear naked choke, and it got on you, and you don't know how to escape, it's a goodbye. 30 seconds of this, and you're never going to be walking straight again. That's true. And I saw Renato just playing, tooling with guys was 3 times. You say 100 pounds right now? 150. Seriously, the guy was 300-something pounds, and Renato was just, it's like a little gremlin dragged down. I don't know how to compare. So you're going to be seeing this a lot in jiu-jitsu. At the same time, that big guy, you think that, wow, this is so scary. And you respect so much. It's not exactly like this. It doesn't play like that. And jiu-jitsu is going to show you this. You go for a meeting and you're super nervous about the meeting. And you prepare, but you're super nervous about the meeting. And you get the meeting, you ace it. Or you kick ass. And people, for some reason, connect to you in a certain way. You got to understand that. Don't paint the devil uglier than he is. And jiu-jitsu is going to show you this. Believe me. So I saw this guy here kicking some serious ass. We have 5 minutes on. Sorry about that.
What method of training do you think is best for jiu-jitsu, like strength training, calisthenics, hit training, or like combination?
What are gonna make you better in jiu-jitsu, strength, spend more time on the mat. And then I do, for my condition, I do a lot of circuit training. Because like on the mat, like sometimes you push, you jump, sometimes like you need to move fast, sometimes you need to strength. And then the circuit training gonna give all different aspects during the fight. Then we did the American team, like for a little bit I was in the condition training there, and then what the stuff I used was the circuit training.
Well, I see you back here this semester.
You wanna fight me?
Yeah.
I can see you.
Let's stay for club. Club is going up for that, guys. If you're not in the club, 1 o'clock we have the club here, and you have to sign up to waiver, right? Lucky, talk to Lucky right there. Lucky, raise your hand. There you go. And Armand, raise your hand there, Armand.
I'm not here.
I'm just kidding. You're a prostitute. All right. Last question, guys. Let's go for the last question. Yes, sir.
What are some of the major sacrifices you made to make it?
Yeah, that's big too. You know, like if you want to be successful, and then sometimes you sacrifice families. You know, we did a couple of times to travel because compete out of the country, and the training camp. Sometimes you need to spend like 6-7 hours. And when I moved to the West and started training the American team, my family stayed in Brazil, my wife stayed in Brazil, and it's part of the game. You know, if you want to be successful, you're gonna sacrifice something. You know, if you want to be in the school, you know, we're here. You're gonna sacrifice, maybe go to the parties. You know, you're gonna sacrifice a little bit to travel because you need to put time to learn. You need to put time to study. And then that's the jiu-jitsu is like the sacrifice. What you know, by the end, when you get your belt, when you get your degree, and whatever you do in your life, the sacrifice you did in the past. You're gonna make sense. No, but right now, don't be afraid. Again, I'm here to answer questions. Don't be afraid to fail. Fail as much as possible. As much you fail, more you learn. That's a big thing in jiu-jitsu. You know, you try as many times, didn't work. Oh, kind of work. It's getting work. Oh, not work. Fail is part of the game. You can see a lot of like super big athletes, Michael Jordan, a lot of other people. They fail many times, but they never quit. They always do. And they even have this in jiu-jitsu, that the black belts and the white belt, they never quit. They keep pushing, keep learning, keep coming. Disappointed, yes. Some discouraged, yes. Some days are not, But it's something that you need to put in your life if you want to be better. Again, it's not better on the mat, it's better, more important, it's outside the mat. We talk about be a black belt on the mat. It's more important for us as a coach. Teach you guys to be a black belt outside there. You know, set up your goals and have a healthy life and good relationship. What he tried to do here is getting you guys and help you guys, but at the same time, going to help us to tell the other people how jiu-jitsu can help them. And that's the big thing. He wants to try to do here. And that's like nobody did yet. And jiu-jitsu can save lives. It can change lives.
That's right.
I wish that this thing for you guys was like video games. You know, you buy a video game and you're in the first phase, you die a lot, you don't quit. Right? You keep coming back, and suddenly we're in the 14th phase, and the first phase is ridiculous. This is going to be like jiu-jitsu. You're going to come over here, you're going to get your ass kicked in the beginning. Don't mind a tapping. Tap.
Come back here later on.
Tap. It's all right. It's all right. It's all good. Just keep coming. Bother yourself if you quit. Start to make analysis if you find excuses to quit easily. You start quitting little things in your life, believe me, is a pattern. There's a pattern for success, there's a pattern for failure too. Especially when you find quick reasons to quit. Believe me, give it another chance and give it another chance. And you're going to start respecting yourself just for doing this. Like I said, we won tournaments, medals, trophies, you know, things that we made a name for ourselves in this sport. But it was because of failure and not quitting. That's what it is.
And the other thing too, jiu-jitsu, that is big, especially if they connect with some kind of group. You're building a family. You know, that's big too. You create a bond with each other. I know Master Ricardo since '88, and we connect. We consider each other a brother because you need each other to grow. You cannot go by yourself in this martial art here. You need the other person. It's not come here. You need the other person to beat the other person up. You need to share. You need, like same thing in your career too. You need to find people that have the same goals as you, that have the same desires as you. Get it together with them, and they're going to make you go in the bad direction. Same thing with you, your kid. Get this and make it this year as your new family. Start making friends here because you guys have different careers, but you guys have the same goal to be successful. And this is big. And you inside here talk about what you're learning, not just about the position, but what you're learning and what martial arts start teaching you. What you start take from this martial art here start helping your life. That's a big choice. Like we Carlos, like I met him here in the US, but it's part of the family too. You know, we create bonds that are going to be forever.
Give it up ahead for Renato. We got it. Guys, let's line up. Come on. Line up. Guys, we know we're getting back. Oh, hold on for a second. See ya. Thank you. Appreciate it. Ryan, my boy. You should have asked him.